Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of a Katie Lund creation. Today we are going to be making these coffee flowers. Now these coffee flowers are actually flowers that I used on one of my layouts that I made for my grandfather. It was a vintage layout, so that's why they're kind of old and vintagey, but this is just one that I made that I've never really used. This is what I call sort of the plain one, because my other ones had all kinds of crinoline and satin and lace and buttons and all that sort of stuff on it. So this one's just sort of a plain version, but you can spruce it up to whatever you want. So what it is it's just 9 petals here. 4 petals, 4 flowers that have 8 petals on them. And I printed these off of my Cricut. Now, there's not actually a name to the cartridge because it came with my Cricut Expression 2 cartridge. So, I don't know what the name is, but they're just 8 petaled flowers. So, that's all they are. So, basically, I have 2 coffee mugs of coffee. I just used the Nescafé Rich coffee. And they're from Brazilian beans. And I just put them in these 2 coffee mugs. Now these are cold because I don't drink coffee. So these are just cold with cold water in the coffee. So basically all I'm going to do is I've started this one here. You're just going to lay it flat, pick it up, fold the flower relatively in half. Doesn't have to be perfect. Open it up a little bit and then dip it into your coffee thing. Now for mine it's not going to fit all the way. But as it gets softer, you just keep pushing it down and it'll make a difference. Now I have these tongs here because I don't like touching coffee or anything. So just push it down. I'm going to fold it anyway, so it's okay if it gets crumpled. And just push it down at the bottom there. Same with this piece. All you're going to do is fold it relatively in half. Sorry, that was my dog. And then just keep pushing it in the coffee as it gets softer. So just push, keep pushing. Okay. So now that those 2 are going, basically what happens is after this is I just leave them in for maybe a minute or 2. And I'm going to be talking during that minute or 2. And then what I do is I take my heat gun and I sort of speed up the process a little bit because normally I put them on my windowsill to let them dry. But it's very windy here today, so I don't want them to blow. And I like to have the window open so that they can get some air. But I don't want them to blow all over the place. So I'll just use my heat gun while these 2 petals are in the coffee. And then I'll take those 2 petals out and do the heat gun while these ones are in there. So basically that's what I'm going to do. And then we'll switch them out, and while the ones that are in the coffee are finished and these ones are being processed, I'll paper pierce those 2 so I can put a little brad in them. So I also have this styrofoam plate here. This styrofoam plate is so that after they're dry, I can just put them in here. Actually, no, sorry. This is for when they come out of the liquid. They're going to be really wet. So I like to just put them on this plate and then carry them over here and stuff like that. So I also have this little piece of paper towel. This is just in case I need to do any blotting. Sometimes, there's a lot of coffee pooled in one little spot. So I'll just take this paper towel here, fold it up a couple times, twist this edge, and then just sort of go like that. So I think it's time to take these out. So I will just take my tongs, put them in, and then put them on here. Okay, so there's one, and there is a little bit of pooling, if you can see, sort of in this line. And I'm just going to take the paper towel like I showed, wrap it up, twist the end, and then just sort of blot it a little, just sort of to take off any excess that's not soaked in. Just sort of come on and go like this. So I'm going to take this flour out of the styrofoam, lay it down on my paper towel, and that will be ready to heat gun in a moment. And then I'm going to do the same with this one. Let's see if I can grab it. Okay, put it here, open it, take my blotting tool, or not really tool, paper towel, and just go around. Okay, and this one. All right, so I'm going to just fold these in half. Place them in the coffee. Same with this one. Place them in. All right, so this one's getting softer here, so I'll just push that down. Same with this one. This one should be getting softer. So I will just push that one down. Okay, so now while those are in there, I'm just going to take my heat gun here and just heat gun these up. So here we go. And what you're going to notice with this is that once the heat gets to it, that it's going to change the color a bit, and it's going to curl the flour either up or down. I'm not sure yet. It's going to curl it up. So see how these petals are rising? Same with it there. Same with it here. So I'll just flip it over, and it's going to flatten that down and then curl it up the other way. Okay, so there's one flour that's relatively dry. So it does look significantly different, and it does look different here on this one as well. And the reason for that is because I also use some brown distress ink on this, and I put it in the coffee a lot longer. So the longer you leave it in the coffee, the longer it's going, or the darker it's going to get. So these ones are probably going to be a bit darker because I am leaving them in. But, so I'm just going to take this one. There's just a little wet edge here, so let me fix that. There we go. Sorry about that. So I'm just going to take this one and put it on my green paper piercer there. And then take this flour and heat gun it as well. So give me 1 sec. All right, there we go. Oh. Sorry guys, my camera just fell. Let me just re-angle that here. All right. Sorry. So now I'm going to take these flours out of the coffee, put them on my plate. Take my blotting paper towel here. Okay. Alright, so there's one. I'm just going to dump this coffee back in. Take this one out as well. Do the same thing here. All right. So, I'm just gonna let those sort of air dry for a minute here. Actually, no, I'll just get right to the heat gun just to make it faster. So here we go. And I can already tell by just this little section in the middle that these flowers are a lot darker than the other ones there. Alright, so now we're finished with the heat gun. And this one left a little bit of a ripple line there, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another piece of paper towel here just to cover up the coffee because I don't want to get coffee on my piercing block here. Bring out my piercing block. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to arrange these flowers how I want them, but I actually forgot one step. So I'm going to lay these out how I want them and then go back and show you the other step. And they are still a little bit wet, guys, but that's okay. You can just come back in with your heat gun and do it. So while they are a bit wet, all you want to do is, I know this might be very hard. It was very hard for me to do once you get them all perfect. But you want to take them like a piece of paper that you don't want and crumple them all up so that they get all kinds of lines and wrinkles. Squish them at the top. Bang them. You want all kinds of lines and rips. Not big rips, but just little rips. And all kinds of stuff. So then you can open that back up once you get it to a point where you like. Find a spot where you can open it. This is probably always going to be... Oh, you have to open it because you didn't fold it. If you fold it, then you have to find a spot where you opened it. That's going to be a very tricky thing. And there you go. And then you can fix your petals, or you can squish them some more, or do whatever you want with the petals. So there's one. If you fold them again and then rip them, I'll show you what it does here. So do the same thing. Squish them. Get all kinds of lines in them. Bang them. Okay, and then open that back up here. So now I have half of my petal. So there's half. And then open it up. Okay. Personally, guys, it doesn't really matter. I find that if you don't fold them, you get a little bit more lines and creases and stuff, but folding them is sometimes easier, sometimes harder. It just sort of depends on yourself, and to each its own. So whatever you like to do, basically. This is just what I like to do. So okay, and there's one more, and then I'll do the other one folded in half again. And it also takes out any imperfections of the flowers that you don't like. So like with this one, how there was that big sort of stain down the middle of it, it'll sort of take out that little perfection or imperfection that I don't like, so. It won't take it out completely, but it'll hide a little bit. And I'm just gonna, this one didn't really go as nicely as I wanted it to, so. There we go, so I got a little rip in that one there. There. So there's one of the flowers. Okay, so now after these are all done, now you want to take your piercing block and you want to lay them out how you want them. So I'm going to put this one in the back and this one up top and sort of window them so that you can see each one of them, so that each one peeks out a little bit. And then I'll put this one on the top. There we go. So I'm just going to take this paper piercer and put a hole right there and pierce down. And sort of move it around a little just to make sure that you got the hole in there. And I can hear it down in here, so. Okay. There's that hole there. Put the cap back on. Take my brads. And I think I'm just going to use a little one here. It doesn't really matter the color. It's just to sort of hold all your petals together. Oh. And then flatten the back with the brad down there. And there you go. So that is how you make some of the coffee flowers. And like I said, I added some crinoline and tulle and stuff like that to some other ones. And all I did was took some hot glue. Before I paper pierced it, took some hot glue, put some in the center, laid down a piece of crinoline, and then laid down my other flower and hot glue the other flower to the crinoline. Then after all that was done, took my paper piercer, pierced the hole in it, and then put it to the side. So these are the two flowers here. Again, these ones are a bit darker, but that's also because they were out in the sunlight and they were sitting for a lot longer in the coffee. They were also distressed a little bit, whereas these ones aren't. Now you could always take this bundle and dip it back in the coffee. Like if I wanted to just dip the ends in there, swish that around a little. I could do that as well and make it a bit darker there as well. And I might do that, but we'll see. So thanks very much for watching. I hope that this helped. Some people, I know that I said that I would link this in the crafting tutorial video, and I'm getting there. So just give me a chance, and I hope that you like this and answers any questions that you may have. If you do still have more questions, put them down in the comment. Make it a comment, and don't forget to rate, subscribe, and obviously comment. And also check out my blog, which will be in the description box below. Thanks, and I hope you had a great day.